Hello. Hi, my name's Indigo Brown, developer of Plunder. I just thought it'd be fun to kind of play through my game, talk about it a little, and probably nobody will watch this, but you know, just we'll see how it goes. So this part, I thought it would be cool to just start off as a completely blank slate. So you're literally a soul summoned by this higher power you don't know very much about, and you literally just possess this old dead corpse. I didn't want any sort of attachment to the character, any reputation starting out. So this is the way I thought I would do it. And I'll go female. I like her model better. So all this stuff, all these plaques are just, they basically walk you through what these stats mean. What's all these and the weapons talk about basically their strengths and weaknesses. You can also just see that in the game help. And I know this is a bit overwhelming, but it's not as complicated as it kind of appears to be. Mostly, you just need to worry about adding points in this makes it so it's less likely you'll miss people, and strength is melee damage, precision is ranged accuracy, agility is your speed and how hard it is to hit you. Intelligence is magic and seeing traps, and will is your hit points. So in the most recent patch, I bumped the default to 3. You can reset that if you want right here, but people were not putting anything into will for some reason, so therefore they couldn't get out of the dungeon because they always had 2 hit points. So I decided to just give them a little nudge in the right direction. That hit points are important, because 3 will get you out. 6 hit points is good enough to get out of the intro dungeon. So basically, he gives us some points for stats. I actually hadn't thought about this, what kind of character I want to be. So I think for fun, I'll go with a little bit of magic, but I also don't want to be useless in normal combat. So agility is important here. And intelligence is not super important right now because I don't even know any spells. So I will, I'll just slowly add to intelligence, and to get out. I guess I'll start off with axes. Axes have always been my favorite. Okay, so I did that. Return to him. So again, if you're unhappy with how this goes, you can just pull this lever right here and it'll reset everything. So this is where the question roll comes in. Basically, it's just telling you to get out of this place. Okay, so here's the dagger, the first weapon. And all these plaques are basically going to be just tutorials on what's going on. The plaques get more interesting in later dungeons. So I'm going to go down here first and kill this guy. And notice how much I'm missing. Basically, the dagger's there, so you just try and click as fast as you can, because you don't know how to use it, so you might as well just hope that eventually it'll roll high enough. These guys are weak enough that it won't be a big deal. So think quickly. It became sort of an inside joke for my friends and testers, because apparently this went way over their heads. So that's M. There's the mini map. So think quickly is basically a reference to these statues over here that would tell you what the attributes do. Think quickly is just right in between intelligence and agility. You can see a secret wall here, which has opened up for us. And that just gives us pistol and bullets and some gold. Right here is another secret. This one's a little easier to see. I'm probably not going to reveal all the secrets as I play through, but I will reveal a lot of them. So if you don't want spoilers and you kind of want to figure it out for yourself, then I suggest not watching this. And we got our axe, and I'm going to stick with that since that's what my proficiency point is in. So I got my key. That means I can go over and unlock this. Ow. So a lot of people have trouble with that part. Big key when you're low level like this is to just keep running backwards and swinging, because otherwise you're gonna get ripped apart by these guys. So I never really talk about the names of the creatures. They're briefly mentioned sometimes, but these are called mormals, M-O-R-M-O-Ls. And they're like basically the little goblins of the game. They're very, very easy, but they can overwhelm you if you're not careful. So traps, there are traps on both sides of these, and my character is not smart enough to see them. I think you need at least 5 intelligence to start seeing them on the ground, but you can always see these little shooters, and that's a dead giveaway that there are traps around. So I think if I go this way, I'm safe. Yep. And this hallway is basically kind of just to show you that any sort of treasure or good deal will most likely be rigged with traps everywhere. Okay. So, barrels drop random potions. This is a fun one. Potion of Shadows. I'm not sure a lot of people use this. Basically, it makes you invisible until you start attacking guys. A big thing, if you have crew members just walking around you, that won't work. They will see the crew members and start attacking. And I think that kind of threw a lot of people off. Here is basically a huge nudge that because people were getting stuck. By the way, these are clues. That's basically what it's saying. So I know this next room is pretty hard for a lot of people. So I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna just load up on potions. Um, so I'm gonna have strength, stone skin, which basically gives me armored skin, and I'm gonna start off invisible so I can get a good shot on him. Oh, but I missed. And that means they suck. But that was no problem. I got hit, but I had my stone skin going, and it didn't do any damage to me. And I leveled up. I'm gonna bump up. Okay, so I'm gonna bump up my strength a bit because I'm getting -2 every time I hit guys on my damage. So I'm gonna bump that up, and I'm also gonna improve on axes. I just remember the key here is alright, and we're out. So basically, I'm out of the dungeon. The old man's alright, well now you gotta get a ship. So there's a little town to the north, and hopefully they'll help me out. And to the left here are a few red-eyed pirates, and this is the first time you'll see them. And this is way harder than any other fight we've done so far. This is completely optional, so I think a lot of people will go, oh, I'm gonna just avoid this after they get killed by these guys, because you do have to be careful with them. I'm gonna, oops. Woo! He got a good shot at me real fast. I always try and go for the guys with the muskets first. And I'll show you, parrying is really helpful. It's basically blocking with either a weapon or a shield right when they're about to hit you. And that's a definite block. Basically it won't roll any dice, it'll go, yep, you blocked. So I'll show you how to do it. See that? That's how you parry. That, ooh, owie. Alright, no problem. They did some damage, but not that big of a deal. I'm gonna drop this dagger and take that. So I kind of want to use this musket. It's really powerful. So I'm probably gonna go without my buckler for a while. And here's also where fishing's introduced, and that's just with your left hand. But unfortunately, there are no fish in here. That's kind of a random number generator to determine if there are fish in there or not. So that's really just a matter of bad luck. Yeah, I'm gonna go with firearms to boost my accuracy with a bit, and that way I don't have to add to precision. Once I'm gonna finish off on strength, and I'm good for that. I'm gonna build up my intelligence a bit after that. I'll come back. And this is where it's like, hey, welcome to Shoreland. And Rhonda. Oh, okay. So, this quest is, hey, go get me some rum. But I already had rum in my my backpack. So basically how quests work is if you have it in your backpack, then it's going to complete if you talk to this person. So you'll see what happened here. So that's no problem. I didn't want that rum anyways, and it's some free experience. One of my friends and testers deeply complained that if I go up and try to interact with the animals, it doesn't make noises. So I made sure to add that because I thought that was a great idea. So this guy basically lost his ring, I guess, screwing around in Shark Tooth Island. This was actually So Sharktooth Island is just east of here. You can see that little skull crossbones means that we're here. But this was the first quest I ever made for this game, and this was a long time ago before anything really worked. I was just trying to figure out how quests would actually code correctly, and I just decided it would be wrong if I got rid of good old Johnny Livertop. So I need to find a guy with a red bandana and I guess holding a bow, because he locked his ship on this guy's dock without paying rent, basically. So this is a kind of obvious. Is like, okay, this is probably going to end up being my ship because there's no other way I'm going to be able to afford anything. So I'm going to go look for him, and I do know where he is. And there it is. There was the unruly fate of Davies, but there's his key, and you gotta wonder what happened to him here. And this is probably whatever killed him came from in here. So I'm gonna go in and hopefully not die. I can see in my little mini map there are a few little pink guys, probably Mormals. Oh, and albino also. So these are albino Mormals. They're a little bit tougher. They're just kind of, they randomly spawn in place of normal ones. And it's more likely the more north you go that they'll spawn in just because they're slightly harder. So they're pretty rare down here, so that was unlucky. Okay, so I got my key. That's probably a good reason to go back and talk to this guy, basically tell him what happened. So, that's lucky. I leveled up. I'm gonna start adding to intelligence a little more and to my firearms. So this seemed all too coincidental that this worked out, and I always I put this in there to kind of hint that this old man's got a bit more to him. He doesn't seem to feel very bad for Davies, and it's kind of implied that he had something to do with his fate. So I'm gonna buy a few cannonballs. That's too expensive. And I'm gonna get a few crew members as well. Oh, and he spawned. Thanks, chicken. Thanks, chicken. Alright, and we're ready to go. Gotta check here. So I like the idea of your character getting more and more frustrated and kind of sassy the more this old man kind of drags you around. So I liked having all the quests just get more and more bugged by him. So I just need to go to Birmingham, which is right there. So that shouldn't be that big of a deal. So he's British. We have no problems with British right now, so they're not going to attack us. And no problem, here we are. And there he is. So the old man's kind of a little bit won over after I've managed to complete all these tasks. So he's starting to warm up to me a bit, and he wants me to get out of this gulf because it's locked up for some reason. So I'm guessing I'm gonna try and get out and figure out what's going on. And at least I got some gold this time. So there's a lot to do in this first British town. And this is mainly for if I want to start taking over towns, but I don't know how to do that yet. So I'm going to talk to her because I am not able to get into this potion shop. So she's been shut down because of a tax issue with Captain Philibert. So Captain Philibert, I'm guessing, is right here because he looks a little different from a normal red coat. So here's one of the first examples of how quests work in this game. You can tell he's very broken up about losing his dog, and that's kind of why he's being such a dick about this. So, anyone can just pull out a gun, shoot him in the face, cause a big battle, maybe take out all the redcoats here, and get an opener shot back up. That is entirely a possibility, and that would work. Or, I can say, oh, I don't want to be an outlaw right now. I'm fine with the British being on my side. So, I'm going to try and figure out what happened to this dog. It's a gray dog, I think that's what it said. Villagers kind of just give you random tips, so it's not super useful to talk to them. So, if I start just exploring down here, past the graveyard, notice there's a lot to this island, and I have to wonder why. So, I found a little cave right here, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That might have something to do with Bubsy here. But I also know that Captain Philibert mentioned he likes chicken. So let's go get some chicken first, just in case we find him. And I can buy it at the tavern, but it is easier just to, I'm not super rich right now, so I'd rather just take one out. And I'm sorry, buddy. Your meat will be used if that makes you feel any better. No, he's important. We'll talk to him later. I just want to get this Bubsy quest out of the way. It's a good way to handle this game, because it can be overwhelming at times, is to just handle one quest at a time. And, of course, here he is. And if I don't have my chicken with me, he's not going to like me. So I'm going to pick up some chicken, and he's going to be my buddy. So he's gonna follow me around until we get outside. But it looks like there's a lever right there, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull it, because why not? And I heard, I'm not sure if you could hear this over the video, but to somewhere in this direction I heard a door open, so I'm gonna head over here. So here's my very subtle way of saying, hey, there's something bad right here. And if you look just right behind that plant, you can see a little gray square. That's where the traps are. So in between all these rocks is a trap, so I just need to be careful. And here's one of my favorite weapons, is the blunderbuss. So we're gonna pick that up, because that took forever to figure out how to code, and it's pretty awesome. I'm pretty proud of this gun. But you need at least 5 bullets to shoot it, so I can't do anything with it right now. So this is the secret door that was opened when I pulled that lever. And that stupid dog's in the way, so that's gonna be annoying. Alright, and I see another trap. So generally I like to, if I go close, then it'll be no problem. And your buddies won't set off traps. Alright, so this looks pretty important. I guess I will drop my, sadly, my musket, I guess, or my pistol. I'll drop my pistol. Pick this up. This is bludgeon reach. This is this is pretty lucky, because this is one of the most powerful blue chest loot you can get. It's pretty awesome how you can just kind of reach and swing. Bubsy's being freaking annoying, so let's get him back to his owner. Unfortunately, I could start switching to blunts, because this is a hammer. But I'm gonna just stick with axes. So I'm probably gonna sell this. I think it'll sell for a lot, so it'll give me a little economic boost anyways. Safe, and Bubsy's already on his way to his owner. He's no longer interested in this. So, I don't have to wait for Bubsy to actually get here. The game will know, yeah, he's here. So if I talk to him, Captain Bilbert's very happy with me. He's giving me his shop key, I'm getting some experience, and I gained British favor. Now this is not really talked about very much in this game. It's basically you just get it for completing quests for British guys. This will be relevant later in the game, so I'll bring it up later when it's important. Basically this just means, hey, the British like you a little bit more. So I have that her shop key, so I'm going to bring it to her. So, success. It's open now. She gave me a healing potion just for being nice. I'm probably not going to use this buckler, so I might as well sell it here. Now I'm going to sell Bludgeon Reach, because I want some money. And that can only be done at the weaponsmith, because it is a weapon. So that's 700. That's a sweet deal, so I'm going to just get rid of this. I won't ever be able to get it back, unfortunately. But I'm going to use this to load up my ammo. 30 is the max. I'll keep this slot open just in case. Okay, so apparently leveled up twice, so we just need to take care of some stats that bump my intelligence, and one in firearms, one in axes. Okay, now let's talk to this guy. So this is how you start learning how to do magic in this game. He is the first person you have to talk to because he'll show you how to do it. Um, Azatar is a reference to, actually my dad made a game called Mazer back in the 90s for the 3DO. Unfortunately, it's not very well known of a game, most likely because it was on the 3DO. But it was kind of a mix of live action, so he got to actually record himself, and he himself is Azatar. So that's what that's a reference to. But I can't help but make fun of him, calling him a strange man in a dumb cape, because he kind of sticks out from anyone else in this town. So he said he senses a rune in a southern notch. And that's right here. And if I want to start learning magic, that's probably the first place I should start going. I can also go to Sharktooth Island to try and find that guy's wedding groom, or I can try and just get out of this gulf and see what's going on. So, I guess I will. You know what? Let's go to the Southern Notch first. Why not? Might as well get the magic learning out of the way. Here's the sign for Birmingham. Let's see what he has to say. Okay, so William Benedict is not a super happy camper. Sounds like somebody stole his badge. So, I mean, if I want to help him, he's kind of a douche. I'll just have to keep my eye out for that. I have enough money. Let me build up my crew a bit more before we set off sail, because I think this is going to be a little more difficult than I'm used to. Only one of each. The maximum amount for my current ship is 6 people, so this is the biggest crew I can have right now. I can upgrade my ship at the Chandler, and actually while I have some money I can buy a repair kit. They're very useful. Basically, if you get damaged, get taken over by a pirate or an enemy, and your ship's just stuck at 1 health till you can get it repaired, and it moves really slowly, and it's a huge pain in the ass. So those are really helpful to have. And we're just heading toward the southern notch, try and find this rune. Let's see if I can fish these guys out. It might be helpful for us. Oh, yep, I caught one. Salmon, not bad. It is, so when you hit one of these fishes, it rolls a die, and it does add your precision, so it's subtracting 3, unfortunately. And the higher the number, the better the fish, basically. So I'll talk to you. So he's offering to be part of the pirate rebellion, and it's kind of a tall order to ask me to take over Birmingham, but it's possible. You just have to level up a bit, get a crew together, and kill all the guys there. But I want to show you. I don't think most people have figured this out. Oh, but I do want to. This is a better quest, so we'll hold off. Later, I'm gonna kill these guys and show you that they might have something important in their inventory. But this guy, Salvador, has a pretty cool quest to him. So we're going to keep him alive for now, and we'll worry about this later. Oh, and this is where I'll get to use my blunderbuss. Not sure where my crew is. They must be wandering around somewhere else right now, which is really helpful. Okay, they're coming to help finally. Jeez, that's a lot of them. Oops. And I accidentally clicked off the screen, so hopefully, I guess it worked out. But I'm down to 4 guys. Alright, so I'm hurting a bit. I'm gonna drink some rum, just start gaining my health. So rums, I thought was fun to add this effect, because if you have more and more rum, you'll basically become this invincible god, but you will be completely blacked out, unable to see anything. And I thought that was a fun way to handle that. Alright, so this is where I'm guessing the rune's going to be hidden. So these guys will catch up with me, and we're going to go in here. And I'm still a little drunk from the rum, but that's okay. See some traps. Alright, that went okay. I need to reorganize these weapons a bit. I like to have, there we go. I like to have my melee in my first slot. Okay, so this might be hard to see through the YouTube compression, but my intelligence is 5, so it's just high enough to start seeing traps, but it's really subtle. So I'll try and point it out here. So here's where the bullet or arrow is gonna be coming out, and this is a little speck on a on a break that says, hey, something's not quite right here. So somewhere around here is where the trap's gonna trigger. So I just need to avoid that. And as my intelligence goes up, the square will become more complete, so it'll be a lot more noticeable. Keep clicking off the... Oh no, so, gonna drink, okay. Okay, so these guys are the worst if you don't take them out quickly. I clicked off the screen again and broke my arms because that kind of messes with the whole game. So these guys are called behemoths, and they spawn little things called spine crawlers that basically come at you and damage you. The easiest way to handle them is to have a shield and just hold your shield up, and they'll just kind of pop on your shield without hurting you. But I don't have a shield, so they're a lot harder to deal with. So you really want to just take these guys out as fast as you can, because they kind of ripped apart my crew. These guys I haven't touched on. They're also very common. They're called flancers, the green little fireball guys, and they, besides the tutorial dungeon, will always come in pairs. And if you talk to villagers around the place, they'll kind of say, oh, they kind of bond for life. kind of like people, or I was thinking albatrosses do that. So even though they're kind of nasty creatures, it's a little cute. Okay, so this is the key to unlocking this door, which leads to another treasure. So this says northwest, southwest, southeast, northeast, and the title is often important and helps you figure it out. Think outside the box. So if I go to the northwest, and here's a key, but the the southwest corner is there's no button. So this is about thinking outside the box a little. So if I go until I find a southwest corner, and what do you know, there's a button. And the same idea. Here's the other button. And the last one is the northeast button, and that is in this room. That unlocks for us. Ooh, that's a good one. So this is Elgor's window. This is a cool one to wear, even though the sound will get kind of obnoxious, so I might not do that for these videos. But basically, he chills out, and the more things you kill, he'll gain up power. And I think at like 20 or 30 guys killed, oops, that missed me, he'll just kind of unleash all these fireballs everywhere. So he's pretty, we've been getting pretty lucky with the loot. Okay, so I need to find a key for this. Generally, the key will always be in the same dungeon. So I noticed earlier through the mini-map that I saw a secret room, and if I follow this path and notice the wall's a bit different, I can walk straight through here. And what do you know? There's the key and some gold. I'm gonna save because it sounds like there's gonna be some spiky guys. It looks like just by these 3 specs that there's a trap right here and right here. I know it's really hard to notice, and I'm not really asking the players to do that. I'm just kind of giving the guidelines of how that stuff works. And we got our first room. So we can't do anything with it right now. We basically got to take it back to Azatar. Ooh, whoopsies. That hurt. It's really hard to talk and play this game at the same time. Ow. Well, we did lose our entire crew, but hopefully it'll be worth it. So these save goblets just reset every time you leave an area and come back. So it's not a big deal to just, when you see one, just use it. Most places have 2 goblets per area. The smaller have 1, but it's pretty easy to tell when that happens. Alright, we're bringing this rune back to Azatar to see what he has to tell us. So basically to activate the spell, replicate the arrows in your spell book with the arrow keys. He means that quite literally. I just wanted to overtly tell the player, even though that wouldn't make sense, but he says that too in the game. So he gave us a staff, so that goes in our left hand. So we need to have a staff. It's just not doing anything right now. So I'm going to take it to the altar, and I learned Magic Spark. Oh, okay, and I got a little experience for it also. So this is my spell book, and you can see there are 15 more spells I could learn, and they're all just tied to different arrow keys. You can also, because using arrow keys and mouse and AWSD is a pain in the butt, there's also a bit of a shortcut here, so you can keep your hand in the same place. So you can use Q, Z, C, and X, and that's tied to these as well. I can't quite wrap my head around it, so I personally am not going to do that. But so if I do the 2 arrow keys up, I have my spark. I don't want to cause any problems, so I'm going to fire this way, and there you go. And you can see it decreasing my mana every time I do that. So I'm going to take this out for now, just so I don't accidentally shoot a spell off into a crowd. Okay, so I'm going to do intelligence and bump up my will a bit, so I still have pretty low health. So with the Magic Spark, precision is also important. I'll show you in just a sec. So accuracy based on precision. So basically, the higher the precision, the better aim I have. The intelligence is tied to how much damage this spell is going to do to people. Alright, I think we got a little more time. We'll do one more quest. Let's do the Johnny Livertop quest, so let's go to Sharktooth Island. So I'm going to build up my crew, just I'm going to rest. And buy my crew. And I am also going to buy some more bullets, because those get a mana and a potion while I'm here. Alright, I think we're ready to go. Let's go get that wedding ring. And that'll probably be it for this video. So over here I can kind of see in the mini-map that as I get closer, there's a red-eyed ship, and that will attack me on sight. So I don't really want to deal with that right now, but you know what? Let's fight him. I think we can take him. OBS is messing with my frame rate a bit. You can see I'm a little rusty. Alright, no problem. Got him. And then we board him, get some gold. Oh no! Alright, so what happened there is I got shot in the back by my own teammate. So that was obnoxious. That's alright. I have a better plan this time. I'm gonna get my Magic Spark ready and just try and tear him apart a bit. So you could kind of hear this little whine and all this smoke happen when people were dying. That was Elgor loading up. But right when I killed the last guy, he went off. Alright, we got some gold and XP for that. So good deal. He's probably going to respawn by the time we come back. British guys don't respawn if you take out their town, but Red Eyes will always respawn. Yeah, that's probably gonna be annoying on the video, so I'm gonna take this off and sell it later. Sorry, Eligor. Okay, and here's a pretty big secret. A part that you may never see if you play this game, and it's not necessary to beating it, but it is a cool side thing, is treasure maps. So here's the first one we can find. As you can see, there's a little bit of a sandbar hiding under the water that goes over here, so naturally we're going to follow it. We also saw on the world map as we were sailing that there's a little tiny island off of Sharktooth Island, and here's our first treasure map. So that gets added to our quest journal. That's our treasure map too. The number doesn't really matter. They're kind of just randomly spread out, so this is not that big of a deal. But you can see it has nothing to do with here, because this doesn't look like anything we've seen. But this is probably the easiest one to figure out, because it looks kind of like an eye. Like an island. See the water everywhere, and it says buried under rock. So if we look, we can kind of make an educated guess that they're talking about Iris Isle. So we'll keep that in mind when we get out of here and can go over there to find the treasure. Oh, here's a weapon I like a lot, actually. We're going to drop a musket for this. It's a halberd, which counts as an axe. It's two-handed, but it's got some serious reach, and it's a lot stronger. Does some serious damage. So we're gonna use that for a bit, but I like it. We won't be able to use it when I'm trying to use magic, but that's fine for now. I don't really know enough magic for it to be useful. Okay. So somewhere in here is gonna be the gray beast with the wedding ring. So if I'm fast enough, I can carry ranged weapons with my ranged attacks with my normal weapon. I don't even need a shield for that. It's a little risky, but it is cool when you pull it off. So I can even block. Let's see if I can block this arrow trap. Oh, no, I missed it, but it missed me. Okay, so this is turned out to be a very hard puzzle for people to figure out. So this is called Wrapped in a Bow, so there's our first clue. For those who seek treasures in the dungeons they delve, the arrows must point to 12:30, so 12:30. So we'll just have to keep that in mind. I guess you can grab arrows that you miss or from traps that kind of go into walls or other objects. Oh, come on, buddy, stay with me. Okay. Got some marbles in here. Whew. There we go. Hurting a bit, but that's helpful. gonna sell this later. I just need to hold on to it. Okay, so here's where, let me level up real quick. I'm gonna bump up precision a bit and axes. So here's where that clue is relevant, and naturally we have a bow and arrow right here, so hopefully that nudges players even more in the right direction. So we have 12:30, and it's not going to act exactly like a clock, but we can kind of guess that this is 12, 3, 6, 9. So we're going to do our first arrow at 12, and our second arrow at 30. And that unlocks the puzzle. A lot of people probably won't understand that. That's not a big deal. You don't need this. It's just, it's another special item or weapon. There are a few traps. You can see one right there and right there. So we're just gonna avoid that. Oh, this is a cool one. Let's drop our axe for this. It's a peony star. It's a reference to a Greek goddess, I think. I can't honestly remember. I remember just looking at Greek gods and goddesses at the time. I was trying to figure out all the loops, and I think it has something to do with healing. So I'm sorry, I can't remember. But they're at full health, otherwise they would be healing right now when I did this to them. So it's a nice little weapon to have. It's not super strong or powerful, but it is useful if you're trying to keep your crew alive. It is a blunt weapon, so we're probably gonna sell that. So I'm gonna save before this, because this next room is very, very difficult. A lot of guys in here, including the Gray Beast. Alright, we took him out, no problem. Alright, good job guys, they both survived, no problem. So this is called a Gordonite. These are more rare. They have some pretty high armored skin, but because of this weapon, because the armor break 3, it was ignoring a lot of it. If I had a sword or something with no armor break on it, this would have been a lot harder to take it down. Alright, and he got his, the guy's wedding ring, so we're good to go. For now I'm just going to wear it, just so I have some more space in my backpack. I will need to take that off when I go and see him though. Alright, and I think we did everything we can in here. So let's go and deliver this. Oh, and he did respawn. We're just gonna avoid him, because we got a quest to worry about. Okay, let me drop this real quick, so I can take off his wedding ring. Alright, and we did it. Gave us some gold and some experience. I think you can sell his wedding ring. It'll fail the quest, of course, but you will get more gold out of it. So it's kind of a moral and a gold versus experience kind of decision. Alright, so that's taken care of. Let's actually go sell some stuff. And then we'll finish off this video. Peony Star. Pretty good. I could sell outdoors video here. Otherwise I'd keep it, but it's just obnoxious for anybody watching a video. It's very useful and a very cool necklace, but oh well. Don't need it. See Bubsy still being obnoxious to his owner right there. Alright, and that's where we'll call it quits for today. Probably nobody will watch this, that's fine. A lot of it's kind of just for me revisiting this game after 7 or 8 months. Just seeing what I remember and maybe talking about my thought processes with a few of the design decisions. So yeah, I might do another one in a couple weeks. We'll see. Alright, thank you for watching.